There's a danger in messing with black people in general, but when you run across a black person with inordinate amounts of free time, okay, a disposable income, and a well-known like comedian, because that's basically who Afroman is. He's a comedy rapper, right? His his most famous song is literally titled "Cause I Got High." So when you run across somebody like this, who is generally minding their own business, dude owns a pretty decent sized house on a rural property in Adams County, Ohio. But when you run across somebody like this, why would you fuck with them? Like it would behoove it would have behooved the Adams County Sheriff's Department to have left this man alone. All the signs and symbols were there. Why would you bother this man? Like, for what reason? So, Afro Man is currently in court. Um, and this is like a beacon of lessons for all who pay attention. Leave black people the fuck alone. This dude has literally made song after song after song, unhinged song after song after song, basically putting the Adams County Sheriff's Department on blast. And this shit is being played and read in court.
The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. Are you kidding? I make my money rapping. Why does the warrant say narcotics? Well, I know narcotics, but why kidnapping? Let me ask you something, officer. Any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? Are there any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it. There are no kidnapping victims in my suit pockets. Let me ask you another question. Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets? Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets?
Also, mind you, all of these are bangers, okay? Like, this is not garbage rap. This is not garbage rap. This is not garbage R&B. Like, all of these are bangers. This is shit that you can just fucking ride around bobbing your head to.
You crooked cops need to stop it. There's not 1,000,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets. Let me ask you something else. Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? The Adams County Sheriff Department, you can get these. There are no kidnapping victims in my CD.
And this just goes over and over. Look, they're playing this shit in court. So you got this Amish looking motherfucker over here. I don't know who he is.
Mr. Cooley, sorry.
Is that Afro Man's lawyer?
Sean, you were called Officer Pound Cake by Mr. Foreman?
Multiple times.
You
You
were
received hundreds of pound cakes at work from different people.
Okay. And the context of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but you'd have to ask him that question.
Well, I'm going to play what's marked Defensive Exhibit B. I'd like you to watch this.
Okay.
Mr. Cooley, sorry.
So yeah, they played it in court. Hold on. I'm gonna play all of these because, like, this is American history that we're watching in the making.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some living pound cake. Mama's living pound cake. It tastes so nice. He was sniffing for weed, then he smelled another smell. What was that? Mama's living down.
I couldn't be on this fucking jury. This is a jury trial because I cannot be on this motherfucker. I'm sorry. I would have gotten put out the jury for laughing too hard. This is a farce. This is a typically American farce. They shouldn't. Why are y'all bothering this dude?
He's a family guy. Living pound cake munchies because he got high. Living pound cake. He sees my cake and my porno man call boom boom. Something happened to his camera on the way to the evidence room. Mama's living pound cake.
So yeah, that's literally the gist. Apparently, sheriff tried to eat up his mom's lemon pound cake.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got
So now he's like Bizarro World George Clinton or something.
Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. Fix my dough. Stop stealing my dough.
So I think this stems from a raid at his house a few years ago, and they took like $5,000 from him. They gave it back, missing $400.
Charges, let me know. If there's no kidnap victims, let me go. Stop cutting off my video. Listening to that unconfidential hoe. Crooked Popo. Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich.
All right, so we've already resolved that Randy Walters is a son of a bitch. Let that be resolved. Let's see what else. Mr. Afroman has to tell us.
So I'm just going on record.
Brian Newland is a flag.
State Brian
Is a flag he used to play.
You know what I'm saying? These mother.
Boys, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Brian Newland is a flag. He used to play with little toys. Now he plays with little boys.
Oh dear.
Baby making Brian, newborn Newland. What are you doing? Who are you screwing? He like to drink lean. codeine. Then he got clean, you know what I mean? He joined the Adams County Sheriff Department. Raid your apartment, stealing star shit. He used to be a stoner with all his friends, but now he pulls them over and he steals their ends. He's a wannabe rapper with no freestyles. Him and his brother William are petophiles. Before you raid my house and rob me, raid your brother's house. Robbie, arrest your brother. Leave me alone. While you stealing his money, steal me your zone. Your brother Robbie, the real drug dealer. Your uncle, the real kidnapper and killer. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Yeah, the weird thing is, like, he's really highlighting the fact that, like, all these small county, small town sheriffs / police departments are like literal fucking crooks. Like this. Like, if you go to these little small, shitty counties in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, like, they're literally all like this. These are basically crime families, mafias, and syndicates. All of them sell drugs. All of them are involved in sex trafficking. All of them are involved in some dirty fucking shit. If I were him, I would move the fuck out of this county, because they're gonna fuck him over for this, like, hard.
Brian Newland is a flag. He used to play with little toys. Now he plays with little boys. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Brian Newland is a flag. He used to play with little toys. Now he plays with little boys. Detective Newland had sex with a minor. Stuck his dick in Stephanie Howard's vagina. She was underage at the time. Brian got away with that crime. I call they family the pedophile pilgrims. Will you stop sending dick pic Williams? Williams was the police chief of Peebles, sending dick pics to underage people. Fired from the police, tried and convicted, registered sex offender and restricted. He's an Adams County sheriff, and that amount to a pedophile thief that really can't count. You pedophile, you no good rapper, stealing my money, calling me a kidnapper. You better kill that noise and stop holding asses of 10-year-old boys. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Brian Newland is a flag.
Did you really have to give him a red flag? Speaking of red flags, today is the anniversary of the Paris Commune. So, thank you, French people, for doing one good thing. What was the Paris Commune? It was the first dictatorship of the proletariat in human history. What is a dictatorship of the proletariat? Basically the first time when working class people decided that it is time to actually take over this shit. And why is this happening? Too hot to watch. There we go. But yeah, the very first time that a dictatorship of the proletariat existed. What is a dictatorship of the proletariat? It is basically a state that is set up by that class, the proletariat. Except they did not go hard enough. As Lenin said, you cannot just lay hands on what already exists and expect to make it work for you, especially if the bourgeoisie are just a few miles outside the city and they still have control of the military. They can come in and crush you at any time. So that's something to be learned from. The Chinese were actually very, very fond of the Paris Commune. Oops.
Mine eyes seen the corruption of the Adam County cops, stealing money, stealing cake. When they make they traffic stops, first they screw you, then they sue you, play games and
Why did you take the man's cake, though?
dismiss your claim.
Again, these little bitty fucking shitty sheriff's departments are so... I mean, they probably didn't want Afroman to live it out there in the first place. But, like, yeah, all these little podunk, bohunk, sheriff's departments, police departments in the middle of nowhere, like Adams County. Like, I've never heard of Adams County, Ohio, before Afroman moved there. I've never heard of it. But you finally found... It took you around 10 years, but you finally found an outfit that matches the pair of American flag Converse that you got when you were 14. I'm surprised you haven't burned it yet.
The proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is
This dude is like he looks like a less deranged Don King,
gonna do ya.
who is still alive, by the way. I thought he died 10 years ago.
Afroman is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Mine eyes have seen informants get busted with felonies. Tell the cops I'm a kidnapper and I sell a lot of keys. Raid my house and then get pissed, cause the dungeon don't exist. My proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do ya. Afroman is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. My gate don't operate and my door is on the floor. My camera's disconnected. Lisa Phillips is a downtown. They take my mama's lemon pound cake. My proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do ya. Afroman is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. They vandalized my property, my money came up short. They disconnect my cameras because they are a poor sport. They're the predators and the victims and they're suing me in court. My proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do ya. Afroman is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Brian Newland is a flag. William is a pedophile. If I'm telling folks the truth, how come I have to go to trial? Newland sexting kids, that's true. Now he's stealing my money too. My proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman.
All right, sorry, Afroman, but there's important things happening in the world besides your trial. So, the Nuestra America, or America, convoy to Cuba is happening. Quite a few DSA people, well, by quite a few, I mean 20 out of 100,000, more next time, but are going along with comrades from Code Pink and various others. So, why? Because, well, for one, Cuba is a lot closer than Palestine, only 90 miles from the Keys. So people are mobilizing to Cuba, bringing critical humanitarian aid for its people. Who's going? Hassan Piker, of course. Kneecap. Quite a few comrades from DSA. One of which, if I recall correctly, is formerly of the Anti-War Working Group in New York City. But this is a broad cross-left effort, and it's really good. We need more of those instead of more squabbling and stupidity. So Trump is basically, okay, so this is Trump's game plan, okay? You hit Venezuela. Venezuela provides Cuba with most of its oil, right? So you hit them, you capture Maduro, you try to take them out of the game. You threaten Mexico. You say that, okay, if you guys help Cuba get any more oil, we're going to fuck you over too. So Trump, with this Don Roe doctrine, basically, okay, we own y'all ass, we can do whatever the fuck we want, is basically trying to bring the entire hemisphere under the auspices of his fascist regime. With regards to Iran, okay, Iran is not being punished because it allegedly shot protesters. Iran is not being punished for being an Islamic state. An Islamic Republic, rather. Iran is being punished because it stood with and it drew arms for the people of Palestine. That is the sole reason why this is happening. Oh, what happened in Iran today? The Fars natural gas field has been hit. Yeah, for no reason whatsoever. Well, so here was their game plan with Iran. Okay, why are they going after Iran? Why are they hitting Iran so hard? Because, okay, Iran is probably the only country in the region, in West Asia, that could actually stand up to Israel. It's a near peer. So they want it knocked out of the game so that they can get their greater Israel thing, and so that they can subdue the entire West Asia region under the banner of Yankee imperialism, of which Zionism is its main running dog in the region, right? So yeah, that's why they got to knock Iran out so that they could take over the whole region. Okay. Of course, the United States government has been lying about the casualties, about the people that have been wounded, about all of that. Why? Because they already know that people are mad enough at this regime because it's been going around shooting anti-ICE protesters in the fucking head and doing basically, if somebody told me that Trump was an accelerationist, I would believe it. Okay? Because this is exactly how an accelerationist administration would act. Okay? Make people as pissed off and mad as possible at you so that this whole fucking thing goes bottom up. Okay? So there's war and rumor of war being made all around the world. And the American left, as people that live in this imperial core, whose countrymen continue to vote for this asshole, they voted for this. I saw one lady in Pittsburgh. Hold on. I will show you this lady. I saw an individual that had voted for this guy 3 times in 2016, in 2020, and in fucking 2024. Like how many times? How many times do you have to be lied to? How many times do you have to be fucked over? So this is the very first delegation of the convoy. This is a European delegation, just judging by the flags. I see Scotland, I see Morocco, I see Greece, I see Algeria. So this is a North African and European delegation. Zizek. Well, see, everybody that has supported Zizek, that I know that is into Zizek, has been an absolutely shitty person that also did not know theory. So yeah, fuck them. But yeah, so why is there aid going to Cuba? Because the United States is basically trying to strangle the island. And see, the thing is, like, Trump isn't entirely dumb. Marco Rubio is not entirely dumb. So what's happening is they're basically trying to make life in these countries as untenable and shitty as possible, hoping that people rise up against and topple the governments of these countries. So that did not work in Iran. It's not going to work in Cuba. They plunged the entire island into darkness by cutting off Venezuelan oil shipments because Venezuela was the closest and only country that was sending oil to Cuba to help power its antiquated power grid. Because see, when you have a country that has been under basically siege since the Kennedy administration, you're gonna be and never mind the fact that their main international supporter, the USSR, collapsed in 1991, hence the special period. We could talk about it, criticize the Cuban economy all we want, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for solidarity with Cuba, right? So they want to basically finish the job that was begun 70 years ago. They want to turn Cuba back into a paradise and a playground. They basically want to make it a giant Epstein Island. That's what they want to do. And of course, it's our job as citizens of the imperial core to help stop this. Why am I not going to Cuba? Because I'm fucking broke. Yeah, I don't have Hassan money. So otherwise I would go. I'm going to go one day. I have to. It'd be kind of a shame for me to not go and pay tribute to the country that held Assad Shakur for so many years. But anyways, I have yet to watch Andor. But yeah, so this is the very first delegation of aid. But yeah, this is legal to do. You can do this. You could bring stuff. Into the country, and it's highly encouraged because again, these people have fucking nothing. They have nothing. Our country has seen to it that they have nothing. This guy is a dumbass. Don't be like this guy. There have been a lot of non-Americans basically trying to make black soldiers, the face of American imperialism. You can't do that. Because ultimately all of this is the fault of white people. Yeah. I'm not even being like doing the whole Nation of Islam bit. All of this is the fault of white people. Black people have historically had no control of anything in this country, okay? Yeah, we don't run shit. Why did this guy join the service? Because I need health care, I need this, I need that. I grew up in the hood. Okay, those are reasons. Those are not excuses. There is no reason for anybody in this country, American, immigrant, non-immigrant, to join the U.S. military. Because when you do that, people are going to see you as people are going to see you. Yeah, if I went to Cuba, I'd most likely try to fucking defect. What used to have for Twitch streamers down there, I don't know. But hey, but yeah. So don't join the military. That very common online saying, "I'd serve crap before I serve this country." Apply that in practice. Don't join, because for one, you might fucking die. For two, you might make other people die. And for three, you might get really, 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 really sick. You ever heard of burn pits? You ever heard of Gulf War syndrome? You ever heard of Agent Orange syndrome? Yeah, they do not care about you. You are meat. You are a tool. You are a slave. You are an askari. Do not join the United States military. Do not. There are many, many other things to do. You want a free college? There's a lot of other ways to get your college, to get to college without loans. Do not let yourself be a hired tool of Yankee imperialism.
Hey, I don't know who need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people be talking shit about America. Hey, if you don't like America, go to another country, bitch. I love this country. I'll protect this bitch.
What is there to love about this country? If you get out, if you inshallah manage to make it out of the military, you're gonna come back. Do you have any idea how many homeless vets there are? I used to work on homeless shelters, buddy. Like, I know this dude that literally helped storm Saddam's old palace in 03. You know where he was at? In a fucking homeless shelter. He showed me all this Iraqi money that he had taken. Of course, most of it was useless by now. But like, yeah, you can be that guy. Look up what happened to Vietnam vets. Most of those dudes came back here addicted to heroin. Is that the future you want for yourself? And why would you? Do not stand yourself against the people of the world. These people are not your enemy, bro. Your enemies are right here. But of course, if you're putting out this propaganda, all whatever I'm saying is probably going in one ear and out the other. So this is that person I'm telling you about.
More woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times.
Why? Was one time not enough?
That was my bad.
Yeah, you are an idiot.
Apparently.
Like, okay. You can make a mistake once, yeah. But second time? Come on. Like, you want it at that point. Third time, you are an idiot. You are an idiot. Now, how the fuck are you gonna let this dude lie to you 3 times? And in many cases, he wasn't even lying. You brought this on yourself. Now it's hitting you in your pockets. Now you want to, nah. You renegade cut made a video. Oh, yeah. In keeping with the theme. Am I a Pan-Africanist? Yes, I am. Did the black, red, and green not educate you as to this fact?
Are you thinking about joining the military? The Army, the Navy, the Space Force? You may think you have your reasons. Maybe you need money for college. Maybe you think serving is an honorable profession because your grandfather served in Vietnam but doesn't like to talk about it. Maybe you saw Top Gun Maverick and thought that invading the airspace of another nation and bombing them was deeply heroic because the Kenny Loggins soundtrack told you so. Whatever the reason you think you might have, you should not join the military. It's not what you think it is, and your time is better spent doing something else. Anything else. It's not your fault for considering the military, though. Don't feel bad. If you live in the United States, you have been told all your life that military service is the most noble path one can walk in life. If you live elsewhere, this still might be true, but military service in so-called America has a unique vibe all its own, a fetishization of the military. We have parades, 2 separate federal holidays, statues in public parks, monuments in the nation's capital, war movies funded by the Department of Defense, commercials with Marines fighting living chess pieces, Army surplus stores in every major city, and Sergeant Slaughter on G.I. Joe. As explained by Pat Elder, author of Military Recruiting in the United States, our military is a scourge on the American experience. 40% of those recruited every year drop out in the first term. Musculoskeletal injuries alone account for 2 million medical encounters yearly. Desertions are rampant. Nearly half of all veterans who get out.
Nearly half. So basically, if you join the military, you're going to be hurt. You're going to be hurt, and the Veterans Affairs Bureau, the Department of Veterans Affairs, is not going to run you no money. Like, you're literally going to have to hire a lawyer to help get you money. Because if you're fucked up enough, you're not going to be able to work. If they catch you working, they're not going to pay you no money. So you're in a catch-22. Just avoid it altogether.
Have filed injury claims with the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, whose waiting line still stands at 500,000. Suicide is at or near record levels, and so are rapes and assaults. But the public fails to hold it responsible for the staggering levels of human suffering it causes. Harsh criticism of every major American governmental institution, including all of the executive departments, is a deeply ingrained part of the American experience. But criticism of the military is off limits. We are conditioned to support the troops and every aspect of American militarism. This militarism, this fetishism, is the result of widespread propaganda and ushered in by willing politicians. When politicians meet veterans, they follow a script that always...
Do I know Brother Diallo? Diallo is a very common West African, usually Senegalese name. I know quite a people named Diallo.
reads, "Thank you for your service, and God help them if they forget to say it or don't say it with enough enthusiasm." Questioning U.S. presence in other nations is considered treasonous to some. We have been conditioned to speak in euphemisms when discussing our wars. Global hegemony becomes spreading democracy, and invasion becomes intervention. At least when we do it, not when other nations do it. Then it is correctly called an invasion. So don't feel bad that the thought of serving in the military crossed your mind, because in addition to all of this, you probably encountered a military recruiter, and that recruiter lied to you, right to your face. Military recruiters are not hapless employees handing out brochures. Recruiters are servicemen who joined a branch of the military and applied to be a recruiter afterward. Recruiters are a mix of active and inactive duty servicemen. They give you the hard sell because A, successful recruiters stay recruiters instead of being stop-lost back to the war zone, and B, they have quotas to meet. They don't use the word quotas in press releases and some official documents. The task is called their recruiting mission, and failure.
Yeah, there were another way that that like people get into this pipeline is through ROTC. ROTC is really, really popular among a lot of people from the inner city, because like, okay, you get a uniform, they teach you how to march, all this and that. In my high school, it was Air Force JROTC, but yeah, it stands for Reserve Officers Training Corps. But yeah, and I was in high school during the Iraq War era, so yeah. It was pretty hardcore. And then like the kids that would sign up, like the seniors that had already signed up, like they would walk around in their uniforms. They were encouraged to do so, to trap other fools. Yeah. And I went to a pretty I was bused to school in a pretty wealthy school district. So if it was bad there, I imagine it was 10 times worse in an inner city district. So yeah, this whole country is basically revolves around turning people into meat for the war machine.
To reach the quota is called a mission gap. An Army recruiter makes approximately $68,000 a year, a pretty solid middle-class wage, whereas an Army private makes about one-third of that, approximately $23,000 a year. Recruiters are incentivized to do a good job, and a good job convincing someone to go to war involves finessing the truth. This is becoming a bigger and bigger problem because the United States military is currently suffering through a mission gap. as they call it, and it's putting even more pressure on recruiters to bend the truth. Here are some common lies that recruiters tell potential recruits. You will learn skills to use in the civilian world. Sure, sometimes. Like learning how to fix a Humvee might get you a job at Jiffy Lube, but not every job in the military has some one-to-one civilian equivalent. A sniper cannot reuse that skill as a mall cop. You can leave any...
Well, but they can use it as a police sniper. You can be on SWAT. Like if you go to any average police department, literally, I bet you like almost all of the SWAT guys have been active duty combat, or they wanted badly to be. Like there's a huge military to cop pipeline.
Time you want.
Because again, police are trained to kill, military is trained to kill. That's why they kill so many people.
If you're on active duty in a war zone and you try to leave, you may face legal recourse. When you join the military, you sign a contract. If it were simple to leave the military, a larger number of people would be handing in their walking papers should they be assigned to a foreign war. Failure to report to duty or continue your duties is a violation of Article 86 USMJ. What the recruiter really means is that at the end of your contract, say 4 years active duty and 4 years inactive duty, you can leave. You can leave at the end of your contract. That's generally how it works. It's not a lifetime commitment, but it is a commitment. There are circumstances in which the contract can be broken with fewer consequences, but it's not like giving your boss your 2 weeks notice. You don't have to deploy, and you don't have to see combat. Yeah, technically you can apply to do something else, but everyone is eligible to be deployed. That should go without saying, but the amount of people who sign up for the military thinking they are not going to war is really staggering. Drones do all the fighting these days. If drones did all the fighting, the military wouldn't need many or any servicemen. War is not completely automated. This isn't that Star Trek episode with the computerized war games. This is real life. Thousands upon thousands of servicemen have died since the invention of the drone strike. The only thing drones do is make it easier for the US to bomb foreign countries and rack up untold deaths among enemy combatants and civilians. You'll get a signing bonus. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes it just doesn't go through because of the fine print. Don't assume that the money the military claims it will give you will actually land in your bank account. You can have whatever job you want in the service.
Bro, why do people still fall for this shit? It's the fucking military. You do what they tell you. That's their purpose. Oh, this is interesting. The Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism Center. He says, this is Joseph Kent, the Director of the National Counterterrorism Center. President Trump, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as the Director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policy that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. You want to talk about wealth and prosperity, buddy? They hit that oil field. I mean, they hit that natural gas field today, and Iran has the Straits of Hormuz closed to the United States. Gas is going to go up. That means food and shit is going to go up. That means inflation is going to skyrocket. Yeah, blood and treasure, no more. In your first administration, you understood that better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani and by defeating ISIS. Trump didn't defeat ISIS. The Kurds defeated ISIS. Early in his administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie. It's the same tactic that the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further towards decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve your administration and to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent, Director, National Counterterrorism Center. Okay, so is the Trump administration split? Yeah, because a lot of these fascists, all of these people are fascists, by the way. A lot of these fascists are non-interventionists. That does not make them friends, though. Like, this guy is not our buddy. And there's a trend among some on the more campus left, I guess, to view any fascist that mentions, oh, Palestine exists. For example, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is not our friend. Tucker Carlson has never been our friend. We should not allow Tucker Carlson into our spaces. But yeah, some people are so fucking desperate that they admit they let anybody come over. Don't do that. This is Kate Willett. She is going to be. She follows me. Yes, she is also going to Cuba, packing medical equipment for Cuba. This is what the Cuban people have been reduced to. This is what the Cuban people have been reduced to, relying on Americans and others of good conscience who are smuggling small amounts of this stuff into their, not smuggling, who are bringing small amounts of this stuff into their country in their luggage. This is what America has done to Cuba. They've thrown the entire fucking country into the dark. So if you've been following the situation with the anti-war working group in New York, the groundwork at SMC, dominated steering committee basically tried to wage a coup, and now there are new elections. So these are the good people that you need to vote for. You need to vote for the long haul slate for the anti-war working group. Do not let it be based. Do not let the anti-war working group be turned into a fucking rubber stamp for Iran, which is essentially what it's going to be. If the groundwork / other people that have not even been engaged in this work are allowed to take over. So what is their position? What's their platform? Anti-war organizing for the long haul. As the U.S. brazenly escalates its imperialist ambitions around the globe and deploys militarized police at home, our primary obligation as socialists in the imperial core is to fight for the liberation of oppressed, colonized, and exploited people both here and around the world. NYC DSA is expanding with a new generation of socialist politics while also learning how to grapple with governance. From within our context, we must leverage our power as workers, students, organized tenants, and people of conscience to systematically interrupt imperial domination. This aim requires a steady masswork, I love that term, of building up class power to pose a threat to capitalism and imperialism through a diversity of tactics, electoral and legislative organizing, strategic campaign work, mass mobilization, political education, community and workplace organizing, and coalition building across the anti-war movement. The long-haul slate comprises organizers who have invested in the day-to-day work of sustaining and growing the anti-war working group. The long-haul slate says that this work isn't always flashy. It's the research, field organizing, relationship building, political education, and administrative tasks that happen between the street protests and rallies that makes the anti-war working group powerful for the long haul. From land sales to weapons shipments, the war machine has deep roots in our communities. This is the chapter's Break the Chain campaign to end weapons shipments to Israel out of JFK International Airport. They founded and led the anti-war working group's Municipal Palestine Policy Committee, which leverages relational organizing to target economic and military-industrial ties between the city and the Israeli occupation. They've served as field leads on the chapter's Arms Embargo Now campaign, and they have supported the reintroduction of Zohran Mamdani, currently New York City's mayor, Not on Our Dime legislation targeting the illegal activity of Zionist charities. The U.S. working class has been subjugated to the longest and most sophisticated propaganda campaign in history. The ideological project of white supremacy, capitalism, and imperialism cannot be erased overnight. It will take years of dedicated concerted popular education on historical legacy and current praxis of socialist and anti-war movements to build the class base necessary to overthrow imperialism. Long-haul candidates founded and have led the anti-war working group's Internationalist Education Subcommittee, developing educational film screenings and mutual aid fundraisers, workers' circles seeking to foster anti-imperialist consciousness in the labor movement, and reading groups on topics such as the neo-colonial resource extraction in the Congo. We're not in the struggle on our own. The task of defeating empire is foremost the task of cohering the anti-war movement and offering the political leadership our socialist politics presents. Long-haul candidates have led organization building in anti-war working group with organizations like the Palestinian Youth Movement, Cuba C, Venezuela Solidarity Network, and others through rapid response and protest contingent work and shared organizing projects. A nimble, flexible, and strategic orientation in mass mobilizations allows us to respond effectively to acts of U.S. imperialist aggression, from the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro, the renewed embargo on Cuba, and U.S. airstrikes on Iran and Lebanon. So, if you're in New York, these are the comrades that you need to be voting for your anti-war working group. These are the comrades that you can trust to actually guide this work into stuff that is actually going to help in American imperialism as opposed to just being an adjunct to Zoran Mamdani. So yeah. Dean P, Zach S, Nohai, Sammy Z, Eric W, Jessica S, Hannah S, Alex R, and Dylan AC. Those are your comrades. Vote for nobody else. We've got a comrade who's bringing solar panels. Okay. Based. What is this? DSA members for Kshama. Okay. Kshama, I know you're following me. I know you might be watching this. You might have better things to do. I hope you have better things to do. But like, why are you so obsessed with DSA? Like, you have your own cult of personality. Why are you so obsessed with like, are you like trying to do the trot thing? Are you trying to make DSA split or something? Okay, DSA has over 100,000 members. That's true. How many members does your org have? But this potential has been squandered by sellouts like AOC and Mamdani in the failure of DSA leaders. Kshama is a member of DSA. Why did I know this? What type of work has she been doing in Seattle? DSA leadership is blocking a vote on endorsing Kshama's independent socialist campaign for Congress. Okay, I imagine it's a little more nuanced than that. Okay, so you're basically trying to, rig up a counter group just for Kshama Sawant. It doesn't seem very principled. It doesn't seem very principled at all. It seems like Kshama's basically trying to rig up her own cult of personality in DSA. I thought Trots hated personality cults, so what am I talking about? And of course they fucking don't.
50 pounds per person. That's 200.
This is what they do to people's luggage at O'Hare Airport. I mean, if I was a fucking baggage agent, this is what I would do too. This shit's fucking heavy. Quit bringing so much shit.
Nothing beats a jet to
Okay, these things can survive.
holiday.
Like, what, do you expect people to, like, individually... Like, see, Americans have a weird relationship with service workers. I think that people are like... They think that basically because somebody works at an establishment that you're at, that you basically rent a slave for a few hours. That's not how any of this works. Of course they're throwing your shit around. They want to do their job fast. And this shit is heavy. Shit, if I was a fucking baggage agent, I would be throwing this shit around too.
And right now,
How about you quit packing so much shit?
you can save 50 pounds per person. That's 200 pounds off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free childless holidays available with 22 kilograms.
Like, if it was fucking... Like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a fucking machine doing it? Because the machine would be even harder. Miami Cubans are more Israeli than half of Tel Aviv. Oh, Lord. What do they have to say? You know, probably the worst diaspora is those fucking lion and sword flag. Now, the lion and sword is dope. The lion and sword is a dope symbol. But the people that use it... That's probably like my least favorite diaspora.
Here's your daily friendly reminder that unless you are of Cuban descent, unless you still have family currently living on the island, unless you had to flee from the island, or
You didn't have to flee. You chose to flee.
have family.
The people that were fucking escaping the Holocaust, they had to flee. You did not have to flee. You wanted to flee because your fucking family's plantation was taken away by Fidel Castro. Shut the fuck up.
Members that had to flee from the island, please keep your mouth shut
I-
about what is currently going on in Cuba. The narrative that
You're starving your own people. You are imploring a foreign government to starve your own people and throw them into the dark. That is what you're doing.
You guys are creating about the U.S. embargo being the reason Cubans are suffering is.
It is. You don't know. How the fuck do you let foreigners know more about your own country than you do? Everybody knows that the U.S. embargo is the reason why 10 million Cubans, that's more than the population of New York City, by the way, are in the dark. Because Venezuelan oil shipments are no longer coming. And punishment is being threatened towards anybody who tries to run the oil blockade. Trump is trying to starve and freeze Cuba, and here you are supporting. Do you have any idea how many people could possibly die because of this? If you have a disability or a condition that requires you to be hooked up to something that's electric, they are at very, very real risk of dying. You don't know shit about what's going on in your own country. You're basically using these people as props so that you can come back and you can become the new ruling class again. The Cuban people are not going to let it happen. They've already tasted the fruits of socialism. They're not going to let this happen. I'm sorry.
Absolutely disrespectful. Cuba is suffering because of its own regime and its own government.
I can't listen to this chick no more. What is this? Never trust a yeah, no. So, some pretty shitty and weird things that come out about Cesar Chavez. Basically, he was grooming and he was raping, underage minors. That's what Cesar Chavez was doing. But like every Mexican American, every Chicano, every Mexican government that I've talked to has been like, yeah, this dude was a piece of shit. We don't uphold him. They do acknowledge that the UFW did good work and like they backed the organization, but like Cesar Chavez himself, he was a piece of shit. They'll all tell you this. He was 100% a cult leader. Starting in the 70s after he crushed the Salinas Lettuce Pickers chapter and moved the org to La Paz, he restructured the entire org to be a cult-like philanthropic organization at the expense of it functioning as a union. Actual unionized membership declined precipitously and never recovered. Today it's a joke. They don't represent farm workers in the sense of organized workers. They represent the idea of farm workers as an identity, as recipients of charity. And Huerta helped them do all of it. The purges, the Synanon gang. Wait, they were fucking with Synanon? The cult of personality, the silencing, the reconsolidation, the crushing of independent rank and file organizing, the conversion of a philanthropy grift, enriching their own families. That is very, very, very shitty. You don't do that to your people. Yeah. Kneecap is also going. Everybody loves Kneecap. You know, during a political education event a few days ago, we are in STL DSA, we're doing a month around the Irish national liberation struggle. And I played a bit of Kneecap for the comrades. Two of them already know who they are because they're Hassan fans. But yeah, folks liked it. So it's I don't know how to pronounce that word. Trisha, I don't know. I'm not going to even attempt Gaelic. As the Prime Minister of Ireland heads to Washington to shake the hand of the warmonger, we'll be in Cuba, where the island is being strangled and starved by the man who will be handed Shamrock. Oh, you love Ireland and St. Patrick's Day? What was your favorite act carried out by the Provisional IRA between 1969 and 1997? It's probably anything that Jim Leno did. The East Tyrone Brigade, the Maoists. Like that, there was literally a part of the IRA that tried to implement a Maoist protracted People's War strategy. I fucks with them.
Some of you
are... The fuck? What is this?
So some of you have heard, most of you haven't. Adams County Sheriff's Office in Ohio and Afroman are in litigation with each other. We know some of you have heard it, though. So we want to provide you a quick geography lesson. We are the Adams County Sheriff's Office in Colorado. They are the Adams County Sheriff's Office in Ohio. So, before you start sending us messages, calling us, emailing us, DMing us, you may want to Google it.
I love this fucking country, man.
Tried case, the lawyers did what they should do, the parties did what they should do. I just want to remind everybody that how the verdict comes out isn't something of public comment. So if you have an emotional attachment to the verdict, don't express it. wait till you get out of the building before you let your emotions out. In all circumstances, the jury finds in favor of the defendant. No plaintiff verdict prevailed. It's been an emotional case.
Kick down my door. Then I heard the glass break.
So I guess they found for all. I guess Afroman won that lawsuit.
They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake. Mama's lemon pound cake. It tastes so nice.
So basically those cops are trying to sue him because they say that the music videos that he put out hurt him. And the jury found in his favor. So yeah, man, look, get the fuck out of there before they fucking kill you.
Finds in favor of the defendant. No plaintiff verdict prevailed. So the matter will be concluded with defense verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Thank you, Mr. Osborne. Thank you to the court staff and the Sheriff's Department for security in the building. And we'll go ahead and stand in adjournment.
He's really sitting his big ass up there with that. I know that fucking suit is hot. He really sits up there in that big ass fucking American flag suit. Not another black person in the courtroom with a lawyer who looks like a fucking Mennonite. I simultaneously hate this country, but I also just love the absurdity of it.
You're welcome.
This is just too fucking good. This is America at its finest. Like if America was not doing all this horrible shit, if it wasn't founded by stolen land and worked by stolen people, if it wasn't like making war all around the world and making life untenable for people all around the country, like this would be like, this is basically anime country. Well, Japan is anime country. This is the country that actually we introduced anime to Japan. But like, this is basically like, this is, it's too fucking much.
Relax, whatever it is you need. Have the jury go that way. Have them go back into their room.
If you guys don't mind to hang out in there for a little bit, I can get you, okay?
All right.
Look at that shit-eating grin on his face. Bruh. So this is the European, well, part of the European delegation that's arriving in Cuba.
Hacer entender a las personas de Europa lo que pasaba en Cuba, porque ellos no tenían una percezione reale di lo che stava passando.
Faremo delle cose tutti insieme con della gente, adesso arriviamo un po' da Milano, un po' da Roma, un po' dall'Europa e quindi incontreremo anche il popolo cubano e doneremo questi farmaci anche proprio in alcuni progetti specifici che visiteremo.
Nos hemos unido todos y todos han estado conmigo, sobre todo en Milán, recogiendo medicina, insumos y donaciones para que lleguen esos nuevos insumos médicos, aseo personal, alimentos para que lleguen a la isla porque los pueblos han despertado y se han dado cuenta que Cuba es el faro y que si Cuba cae, cae América Latina y cae el mundo.
La solidaridad de Europa. Europa se despertó y comprendí lo que pasa en Cuba. En los últimos días, mucha gente, mucha más de lo que es posible, quería donar dinero, medicamentos, qué se puede hacer.
I've seen a lot of rightists like characterizing this as a photo op, and I'm like, no. Now, if Zaran and the rest of them, like, why isn't AOC on this? Why isn't Cuba? Why isn't Zaran on this? Like, you could take a few days out of your busy schedule as mayor of New York fucking city to go down here. Like, do you have any idea how many people would love y'all? Like, you really letting Europeans mog you? Come on, bro. Yeah, I'm playing Civ. I haven't played a game in a while. We love escapism, though. Everybody loves escapism. What nation should I play? I'm going to go smoke. Y'all give me recommendations for what nation to play. Or I could just pick my own. Give me recommendations. I listen to the masses. It does. I actually prefer this to 7, by the way. Where is BRG? Bro, I smoke cigarettes. The fuck? Where's BRG? Here you go. We need our Parasocial streamer back. What nation should I play as? I'll just fucking let whoever pick. I'll just let the AI pick. This is Civ 7. Wait, 6. I can't read fucking Roman numerals. I'm dumb. I'm not smart. Good, you're smarter than I am. You are smarter than BRG. Congratulations. Let's see who I get. Hope it's not the fucking Romans. I'm actually a secret Roma boo, but don't tell anybody that. I know I just told the whole fucking, well, all 379 of you fuckers, but don't tell people I'm a Roma boo. Ooh, Korea. Science.
The great beasts of the Stone Age. To man taking his first upright steps, you have come far.
Let's get some Korean beef.
Greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars.
The world turned upside down. By Amit Bhattacharya, Imperialist versus People's Model of Development. Might crack this open later.
For the secrets of the world are theirs too.
Korea, not bad. Korea based. Korea. Let's get some scouts to see who the fuck I'm going to be fighting. Because you always end up fighting this game, even if you want to be a lover, not a fighter. You're always going to end up fighting. Let's stack some rocks on top of each other.
No man ever wetted clay.
Just getting some boats.
It is not wisdom.
Go, find new things. Find new people for me to conquer. Oh, what's up, Unc? Menelik, the Lion of Judah. Of course, that's because anarchy is associated in most people's minds with chaos.
It is not that life is...
The Heritage Foundation scares me. It should scare you too.
Water, water everywhere.
Despise the enemy, but also take them seriously. That's what Chinese dude taught me. You can only laugh at your enemies if you have the power to destroy them. Yokianga Nuya Kupi. A lot of rivers. Seems like the Korean dreams of rivers.
If there are no dogs in heaven,
Oh, sheep. Hopefully the Welfs don't show up. Oh, please tell me I get iron.
bronze is the mirror of the form.
I need irons to make weapons to keep the Ethiopians and the Maori away. Well, the Maori really won't fuck with you unless you start fucking up the environment. Which I do not plan on doing. Probably the only good thing about 7 is I like the city building dynamic. Otherwise, it's ass. I believe I wasted money on that shit. What are you doing all the way up there, Coupe? Ew. The Japanese, historical friends of the Korean people. Yeah, y'all stay all the way up there. Leave me alone. I don't have time for your imperialist bullshit. Hold you. Ooh, look at all that nice iron. Oh, I hope I don't have to put belt to Japanese ass in this game, but I can already tell I'm gonna have to.
Writing means sharing.
Why is Coupe mad at me? I'm not scared of your hawker, buddy. Ooh, spicy. So in this game, Korea is a very science-oriented country. I wanted to say organization. What are you talking about? I haven't done anything. Stop being mean to me. Fucking hippies. Japan has declared war on Sweden. Why don't y'all just leave me alone? Leave me to build my nerd country in peace. Why does everybody want to fight? The Maori are mad. The Japanese are mad. Everybody's mad. Chill. There's no need to be mad all the time. Being mad all the time is not good for your mental, bro. Leave me be.
I don't believe in astrology.
I hate fighting, but I will if I must. Everybody needs to chill out. No war, just piss. No crazy war.
People who cannot find time for
Get that iron. I already tell him I have to drop this iron on somebody. No war, just peace. Peace forever. Now where the fuck do y'all think y'all going? Bruh.
Jag är Kristin.
Oh, hi. I didn't give y'all leave to pass through my shit. Y'all better not build a city by me. Swear to God.
when wasteful.
See, I could already tell we're gonna have problems. I could already tell we're gonna have some fucking issues.
Let me ask leave then. It was luxuries like air con.
Yeah, go ahead. Build a city right there so it ends up fucking becoming loyal to me in a few turns. Dumbasses.
Mysticism is the May the forces of evil become.
What the fuck is going on with these dudes' haircuts? And he settled by me anyways.
Everything has its limit. A strong economy.
Hostile motherfuckers. The best neighbors are faraway neighbors, not right there.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
So I got a trick for you. Mine. 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 Mine.
The ascent to the highest story.
Ooh, chilly. So how are you guys doing? And gals. And they thems.
Money. All the world's a stake.
Swords. The swords of Korea. Oh, look at the cute little feathers.
Every nation lives by.
No. You settled by me and you denounced me. Fuck you. Okay. You brother. Ugh. Seoul has adopted Protestant Christianity. What else is new? So long as it's not Mormonism.
Normal people believe that.
Can't have my worries on the border.
History is the version of past events.
Remember, there was a mod in 5 that would let you, like, invent a variety of religions, including Pastafarianism. Ooh. Two-sided spears. Comes in handy as long as you don't cut yourself. Get them crossbows cooking. You're a fool if you invade me. Oh, sure, you just make us all Protestant. Let's just repeat history.
Divide and rule, a sound.
Don't let us have any fucking indigenous religion. This is religious imperialism. Only 'cause I'm broke.
Create with the heart.
Yo, el presidente
What's up, Bolivar? El Gran Libertador? No. Not giving you fuckers all my iron. Stop asking. Why would you build a city and then import? You know what? I'm not going to even ask why. Sweden has founded a new religion, Islam. Muslim Vikings.
Without mathematics,
I shudder at the thought.
seven girls were chased by bears.
Astaghfirullah. Muslim Vikings, astaghfirullah. It's almost as bad as Maoist Vikings. Or Maoist Muslims. Muslims. I actually know quite a few Maoist Muslims. Indeed, how authoritarian. I am not going to be evangelizing Protestantism. Yes, Bolivar, I'll let you fucking coffee and sugar in as long as you don't come bearing weird notions about liberty.
I cannot imagine any condition.
I only play Civ because it's probably going to fall to me or one of you to rebuild civilization after these morons blow us up because of the Epstein files, so consider it practice. Praxis, if you will. Gaming and streaming is praxis, it is known. These people are getting enough of roasting me. I'm gonna crash out. Wait till I get nuclear missiles. You horse! That is the most first world sentence I've ever heard. Gaming is praxis. Useless first worlders. When you give MiHoYo Genshin Gotcha money, you're funding fusion reactor research in China. That helps you sleep at night, sure. You're funding the Chinese century. You're helping. Oh dear. Ethiopia is quite expansionist. Again, what else is new under the sun, huh? At least they're attacking a European city. Ooh, look at that Dow. You are the vanguard. We're all the vanguard. Everybody vanguard. Really, I thought you were denouncing me for being environmentally unfriendly. Yeah. I understand I'm their suzerain, but those Europeans need a butt whooping. Do what you will, brother. Fuck off.
Remember that people break down to those who...
I'm not even anywhere near you. Anybody tell you to build cities all over the place? Jönköping, Lund, Västerås, Helsingborg. You're gonna have a rebellion in 24 turns. This is why you don't build cities right close upon people, buddy. Coupe, more like stupe.
An architect should live as little. I can already tell how this is going. Fuck this. I was going to end up in war with Ethiopia because they attacked my city-state. The Maori seemed to be intent on wringing and strangling my country. Ooh. Let's see what Kings and Generals has. How did the Union win the war? It's pretty simple. Black people. Royal hunts gone wrong.
Hunting has been a mainstay in human life since before the coming of Homo sapiens on the evolutionary boulevard of planet Earth. For as long as people have been chasing boars and deer, there have been hilarious, tragic, or outright bizarre hunting incidents recorded in the pages of history. Such incidents are often embarrassing, or even endearing, regarding some rather important figures of history, revealing much about how humans, hunting, and nature interacted in the social, political, and economic realms. In this video, we'll discuss some of the most famous incidents in the history of hunting from all four corners of the world. Along the way, we'll discover just how some of the world's most illustrious civilizations perceived their hunting outings. How did Byzantine emperors die in hunting accidents? How did Mughal and Holy Roman emperors promote natural conservation? And what are the most famous Persian hunting shenanigans? Welcome to our video on history's most famous hunting incidents.
This video is sponsored by and we don't have exclusive videos
As its custodian. As a Christian empire, the Byzantines viewed nature as a creation of God and themselves as its custodians. One of their favorite ways to show this
Roman hippies
mastery of the natural world was through the staged fights and hunts of animals. When the Arab physician Al-Mazawi visited the Eastern Roman capital of Constantinople in the 12th century CE, he recorded his observations of numerous spectacles, including public fights between lions and bulls, or cheetahs and antelopes. These events were always the talk of the town, attracting nobles and commoners alike. However, the aristocracy and the peasantry within the medieval Roman Empire saw hunting very differently. For the former, hunting was a form of recreation and prestige. For the latter, it was a means of subsistence, especially for those living in rural areas. Several Byzantine emperors are known to have been avid hunters, but the most famous of them belonged to the Komnenoi dynasty of the 11th to 12th centuries CE. It is one of these emperors who had a rather fatal hunting accident. John II Kaloianis, or John the Good, ruled over Byzantium for 25 years and was known for
John the Not Good at Hunting.
His genocide of the Pechenegs and constant wars with Arabs, Venetians, Hungarians, and Turks.
How is this guy good?
The long reign of Emperor John ended in 1143, when the Byzantines were in the early stages of preparation for a campaign against the city of Antioch, which was under the control of their Catholic Crusader enemies. John was out hunting in the nearby region of Cilicia when he encountered a wild boar. The boar charged at him, and he struck it with his spear under the chest. The animal went berserk and flung the emperor around, thrashing him about so much that his wrist
Byzantine Bobby Baratheon
was slashed by a poisoned arrow that he had equipped in his quiver. Immediately, his companions tried to stop the wound from bleeding with a bandage, but nothing could be done about the poison now seeping through the emperor's body. Within a few days, John had begun to weaken from blood poisoning. His doctors tried to help him, but it was all for naught. By April the 8th, 1143, the Byzantine emperor assembled the army and urged them to accept his son, Manuel Komnenos, as the new emperor. With that, he passed away in the arms of his weeping heir, who was dressed in imperial garb and proclaimed Emperor of the Romans. John Komnenos was not the first Byzantine emperor to perish at the hands of wildlife. His predecessor, Basil I, had also died in a hunting accident when his belt was caught by a stag's antlers, which dragged him across rough terrain. The story of John reveals a great deal about how even the mightiest emperors can be brought low by some twist of fate. Our next stop on this excursion takes us back over a millennium to the time of ancient Greece in the 5th to 4th century BCE. The ancient Greeks were passionate about hunting, as evidenced in their mythology and art, both of which are filled with rustic scenes of heroes and lovers pursuing wild boars, lions, and even more fantastical animals. The 4th century BCE Athenian mercenary Xenophon even produced a text called the Cynegeticus, a manual on how to hunt and properly manage one's hunting dogs. The Kingdom of Macedon, in particular, appears to have placed great importance on hunting amongst its elites. Because the kingdom was run by an elaborate military aristocracy, whose relations relied on friendship between landowning nobles, kings and their sanctioned friends often used hunting as a preparation for war and to cultivate relations with one another. There is one hunting incident involving a Macedonian king, although it is one with dubious historical value. That is the tale of Alexander's ancestor, King Archelaus I of Macedon, who ruled from 413 to 399 BCE. Archelaus built roads and fortresses, produced coinage of high quality, and also provided Athens with valuable timber to construct its mighty navy. He also invited many Greek intellectuals to his court, like the playwright Euripides. Throughout his busy reign, Archelaus was also said to have been a man who deeply enjoyed hunting, a hobby that ultimately proved fatal for him. According to the traditional account, Archelaus went on a hunt with Craterus, his faithful page and sometimes lover, only to be suddenly and fatally struck by the man with whom he was in a situationship. There are three versions as to why this murder happened. One tale says that Craterus did this to become king of Macedon himself. Another says that he was promised the hand of one of Archelaus's daughters in marriage, and then was denied her, making him angry for revenge. A third version merely says that the whole ordeal was an accident, and that Craterus did not mean to strike Archelaus with his weapon. In some versions of the tale, Crateros was working with two Thessalians, Decamnikos and Hellanocrates, both of whom were also lovers of the king. Decamnikos is said to have sought revenge on account of being flogged by Euripides on the permission of Archelaus, with the
So the fucking Macedonians invented the situationship and the polycule.
playwright doing this because of the page's bad breath. Whatever the case, the king of Macedon perished on a hunt in a story so fantastical as to almost be a Greek myth itself.
It probably was.
The third story about hunting hijinks takes us to the iridescent lands of India during the period of the Mughal Empire, spanning the 16th to 18th centuries CE. The subcontinent has long been a land of hunting, but the Mughal monarchs who ruled it introduced some notable innovations to the practice. The Mughals were a Mongol-descended dynasty, which had embraced Persian culture when they first emerged in Central Asia. Upon conquering parts of northern India in the 16th century, they merged Persian, Turco-Mongol, and native Indian hunting traditions to create the hunting grounds known as Shikaga, large fields and estates
Chicago? Chicago in India?
adorned with small palaces for Mughal elites to lounge in when they went on large hunting tours. The Mughal Shahs often took long holidays with their noble companions and armies. They participated in hunts of cheetahs and elephants, in events known as Kamaga, or enclosure hunts. These events were highly theatrical, with servants
That doesn't seem very fair.
managing hunting scenarios and preparing the animals for their ritualized slaughter at the hands of their royal hunters. After a long
That's cheating.
performance, the hunted prey would be surrounded by the nobles and their servants. Eventually, the Shah would come to the animal and slay it, claiming his victory. Apart from
That's cheating. That disgusted me so much. I'm going to fucking man. Yeah. I want to go find something to eat. Y'all be easy and try not to get slashed by your lover on a hunting trip. I'll play an Arma tomorrow probably and talk about what horror